those who don't know, me and LA used to work a long time ago, like back in the 90s. No, I was just playing. It just seemed like it was that long ago. But everybody, welcome to part of my sanity. I am your host, Tevin Hero, with my lovely co-host, Megan G, official.
Official Megan
Disclaimer: we had to come up with a nickname and a stage name for her because her Instagram name was like so ratchet or so pretty, so something.
It's Spoiled Rotten 64.
Yeah, Spoiled Rotten 64. I'm like, if you're gonna be on the mic, you can't have that kind of name.
I gotta be official.
Yes.
I need my blue check.
Yes, exactly. You need to be certified. So this podcast is predicated on mental health because we all struggle through it differently.
Correct.
And it's a daily battle. I feel like it's an ongoing war until honestly you pass away because there's so many different aspects of mental health. Like where you're from, what you do, how you was raised,
Right.
things like that. And exactly. And LA brought the idea to me like, man, we need to do a podcast. Like just based on mental health.
Yeah, because it's a taboo topic.
It is, especially in the Black community.
It's very hush hush.
It is.
Like,
but you know what? It's not hush hush, but it's more like what you said, it's taboo because people play on it when they want to play on it.
Correct.
They kind of want to use it to excuse certain behaviors.
Correct.
Especially with our younger generation, especially with us too, like our peers. Like I'm a '90s baby, so we are. What we millennials?
We millennials.
Yeah, millennials. We see a lot of that, a lot of tomfoolery going on, and a lot of effery going on, and they want to. They
praise it though.
Exactly.
They praise it. Like back in our day, we would, we didn't. We were just kids.
Right.
We didn't have to,
We didn't have like the tools and the resources to be like, or even the awareness to be like, man, I'm struggling mentally here.
I'm depressed.
I need help.
Because when you said you were depressed in the 90s, you better go depress them dishes.
Yeah. It's funny because I didn't even say that word until I was like a young adult. Like I didn't even know that was an expression or a feeling I can have for myself until I was like a young adult. Because in the household, it's like you don't feel anything. Like I have good parents, but I didn't have parents who really catered to my mental health as far as like if I felt some type of way about something, it mattered to them to a certain extent. It's more like, well, you're a child, you don't feel anything because you don't have no real responsibilities, no real pressure in the world, no nothing like that. All you need to do is just go to sleep and just eat what I give you, and just be in the household I provide for you.
But let's really ask ourselves, when did mental health become tied to responsibility? Isn't mental health a responsibility on its own?
It is. And whose responsibility is it?
Oof.
Should be yours, right?
Correct.
Exactly.
However,
talk to
me. There are certain triggers that a person, goes through that then their mental health gets dumped on somebody else.
So
it's like trauma bonding.
Yeah. So before we get there, let's segue into this.
Okay.
Our current generation of youth, right?
All right.
LA got his beautiful daughters over there. I have two kids. They're both 12. You have children.
Correct.
How old is your oldest?
So my oldest is 14.
14.
Correct. And then my middle one is 12.
Right.
And then the youngest is 8. So they're all a part of Gen Z.
Right. So let's ask this, parent to parent, right? When was the last time you asked your kids about their mental health? Let me be honest.
The last time I asked them about it?
Like, how's your, not, hey, how's your day? Or are you okay? Two different questions. How's your mental health doing?
I haven't had to be honest and to tell the truth, I haven't had a mental health check-in day with them since, it's been a month. I try to do it on a month-to-month basis, but to be honest, the way their generation is set up and the things that we're seeing out here, I need to do it on a weekly basis.
That part.
I need to check in because Gen Z, they switch up so fast.
Yeah, a lot of things going on,
and they're not at that point,
Right.
like how we were,
Right.
we emotional maturity, we didn't choose it. It came to us because we didn't.
Like we had to snap into it.
Correct.
Like we didn't have to learn
Them,
anything.
it was like it's
like just trial and error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right, I'm gonna feel this way today.
Yeah.
And see how this goes.
Yeah.
And then if it doesn't go how I want it to go, I'm gonna feel another way tomorrow.
Right.
And then let's just carry on that whole throughout the year and see
Right.
where it takes me.
Right. So the funny thing is, like the double-edged sword in all of this is well, I'll let you know. Like I'm in the behavioral health field.
Correct.
For at-risk teens, right? Now the funny thing is, I got into this field back in 2020.
Okay.
Right? I didn't know they even had centers or programs or facilities like these for teens until I got in the field. Now,
Correct.
mind you, I'm born in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking anything we had to do, if we was bad or at risk about anything, it was rather the YMCA, Boys and Girls Club, or the youth detention center.
Correct.
That's the only three things I knew.
Correct.
I didn't know like they had, well, yeah, you could send your kids away to
Or
go
we
get
can
help.
take it a step further, right?
What?
You're missing one off that list.
What?
What else did we know about growing up when it came to mental health? When we said something about mental health to our parents,
Right.
it was automatically, you don't know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't know how that feels because of X, Y, and Z, or we got a whooping.
Mm-hmm.
We got a whooping because we were depressed.
Mm.
Like, how does that sound?
Depressing. It sounds depressing. That's what it sounds like.
Man, but nowadays,
Yeah.
look at Gen Z.
Yeah.
How many kids in that in the field in your line of work
Yeah.
are in single parent households?
A lot.
Mm.
A lot. And it's funny because it's not. It plays a factor, right?
Okay.
But it was a lot of kids I've encountered who came from a two-parent household.
And they still didn't.
Still messed up.
They still.
So what's the common denominator is all that? It's parenting. Parenting is after.
Correct.
You know?
And you want to know why?
Why?
Because now Gen Z, they have what they call gentle parenting.
Mm.
So when you gentle parent, you're coddling the mind.
Talk to them.
You're coddling their mental health.
Yes.
And when you coddle something, you shape it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're forming it into what you see society is at the standard of today.
Right.
Versus, hey, never did a light bulb go off in that parent's mind. Like, let me coddle their mind so that they can make it mentally through their day, through a 24-hour.
Right. Right.
So it's like, because I'm not gonna lie, we have kids, we are parents.
Right.
So there are times where I have gentle parenting.
Mm-hmm.
But then I started to see like.
Now elaborate on gentle parenting. Because like let me tell you this. I'm not a rah-rah guy. I never raised my voice not once at my kids, never yelled at them. So when it came time to have a real deep discussion about something that was affecting their mental health, I came in a gentle way so they can receive it better. I didn't shout at them. I wasn't like projecting my voice to make it feel like whatever they was going through, it was belittled. It's just I had a gentle demeanor when I was saying this, and this about said this, that, and the other.
Okay.
So what is gentle parenting in your house?
So gentle parenting for me is, let me give you an example.
Right.
My 14-year-old, right?
Right.
He's dating.
Oh.
Lord. So we had a discussion the other day because he finally came out to me and told me, and him and this girl have been dating for months.
Mm.
If I would have did that mental check-in, I would have known that.
Right. And you didn't know until today years old.
Yeah. Until today years old.
Yeah.
But the gentle parenting of it was, I did, you can come at them gentle.
Right.
But the gentle parenting comes into play when I start letting things slide.
Mm. And we let too many things slide, ain't we?
Man, we are letting a lot of stuff slide.
Yeah.
Like, if we got caught kissing in the back of the schoolyard when we were their age, what was our punishment?
Oh. Our parents getting called, and then I'm not seeing Earth for like 8 days.
Man, I brought you into this world. I would take you out.
Yeah.
You know how many times I heard that?
Yeah. Yeah.
But kids nowadays, if Billy has a temper tantrum in a Walmart, it's okay, Billy. I understand. Just tell me why you're frustrated.
Mm.
No, Mom, I wanted this toy. And we hear
Yeah.
the slap. You know what I'm saying? And we're looking in awe because we're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's gentle parenting.
Right.
So it's not the approach.
Right.
Because I feel like you're looking at the approach. Like you're like, I'm not a rah-rah guy.
Yeah.
Right? You're not a rah-rah
Yeah,
guy.
and I was looking at the approach.
You were looking at the approach. It's not how you approach the parenting.
Right.
Just like it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Right.
So it's not what you say when you're parenting, it's
Right.
how you say it.
Right.
So you can approach the child in a gentle way.
Right.
That's gonna give them the green light to open up, the go ahead.
Right.
So all right, let me tell my mom what's going on, or let me tell my dad what's going on.
Right.
Because of the way that you approach them. But it's the things that they start talking about, then what are your responses to it? Well, like back to the conversation that me and my 14-year-old had that we had, he was telling me that all of his friends were engaging in sexual activity. So he
was feeling left out.
He was feeling left out. And my gentle parenting came into play because I just skipped over that.
Yeah.
And went right to how our moms raised us, how our parents were. Right. You better not be out here doing. I went to the angry black woman. Yeah. The diary of an angry black mom. Yeah. I went real quick. Like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that because I feel like their peers play, I want to say, the second biggest factor of our youth, our generation's youth mental health, right? First is their environment.
Correct.
Parents, how the house look, how the community look. And then right after that, I feel like it is the peers. Correct. Because think about what you just said about your son, right? He felt left out that all of them was getting some cutting.
Yes.
And and he was feeling left out. So he pressured himself because he could have made a conscious decision to be like, I see what y'all doing, but they ain't for me right now. Yeah, this ain't for me right now. So that's cool. Y'all have y'all little fun. But see, he felt like he was pressured to respond to it. Correct. And it's funny because like that's one example. And that is so many other examples like that. Correct. Now we can go on a bigger and a deeper level of like violence, gang affiliation and stuff like that.
You want to know why the peers is for me, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like out of all the triggers that we list, peers is gonna be the biggest one. Yeah. Because when if you were to ask a Gen Z person, like a Generation Z kid, what their biggest fear is, the number one answer that I always get, because just like you working with the at-risk teens, I'm a paramedic on an ambulance. Right. So when we have our mental health subject calls that come out, that down 911, their main reason for wanting to commit suicide and wanting to do, all of these things, the number one answer that we get, I feel alone. They want to belong
to something.
To something. It don't matter what it is. Yeah. They're willing to risk their life, their mental, their livelihood, their freedom. So many things, sad. That's really sad.
That's sad. I made a duty to never let my kids feel like that. Never, bro. Because I've been there. We
all have.
I've had suicidal thoughts when I was in my early 20s. It's a serious thing. And it's funny because I did some research, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, here it is right here. Now, this is according to the Mental Health of America, right? Mm-hmm. It's an organization. I looked them up last night. Mm-hmm. They said Georgia, just based on the states in the U.S., right? Georgia is the 7th highest in America when it comes to youth reporting that they had suicidal thoughts. Now I say Georgia because we're based in Georgia, and I feel like number one, if I'm not mistaken, was it was somewhere out in the West Coast, man. I want to say Nevada or Washington, like Washington State. It was one of them two. But fact check that for me though. But Georgia was 7, and I'm in Georgia, and the fact that we're top 10
Correct.
out of 50 states, out of out of
Man,
50 states that we're top 10 in that is bothering for me, and the fact that man, look, man,
you want to know what's crazy?
what
I already knew that.
you knew that?
Yeah, you want to know why I knew that?
What?
Because there's never a shift that I work
Yeah,
on a 911
yeah.
that we don't get a mental health call.
Mm.
Whether it's I want to take pills, it doesn't matter how they do it.
Right.
The fact that you have suicidal ideations, and it's always Gen Z.
Yeah.
Every single call that we get is Gen Z. My girl, we had one last week.
Yeah.
He tried to overdose on hypertension pills because his girlfriend didn't text him back.
Mm. Like at all, like in a timely manner.
In a timely manner.
What is a timely
What is a timely manner?
manner? Yeah.
Why?
That's tough.
Man, it's very tough. I feel like we don't, and the other reason that Georgia is on that list is because we don't have the resources.
Oh, we do. It's just trash though.
Man.
Trash resources, man.
Man.
And I'm not gonna.
And you want to know why the kids are scared to use those resources?
Why?
Because a lot of the suicidal ideation Gen Z kids feel like if they tell their friends that they have these thoughts, they're going to get picked on. They're going to get talked about. They're going to get bullied.
Oh, yeah. It's like that where I was working at.
Yeah.
And it was deeper because it's deeper than that because, like I said, going back to the resources being trash, there's a lot of these facilities and organizations that, pride themselves on catering to youth on all levels, then with all things. But then you got certain professionals abusing them, whether it's verbally, sexually.
Correct.
Like I'm sending my kid to go get help, and now I'm hearing about you trying my daughter in this kind of way, or trying my son in this kind of way.
Not
I
even
send them that for that.
I've seen it so many times where somebody will get 1013.
Yeah.
And
now we're not in medical, so tell us what that means.
So
For the people in the
back. For the people in the back.
Yeah.
The non-medical, the non-health people. So a 1013 is a piece of paper in the state of Georgia that it's by law, it's a mental health paper that basically states that you are not in your right mental state of mind to make decisions, to call the shots, to do anything.
Mm.
And so once a 1013 gets signed, you're at a hospital, right? So that hospital can hold you for 72 hours on that 1013.
Right. By law.
By law.
Yeah, right.
Once the 72 hours is up,
now your insurance got to keep you.
Man, they either release you, you know what I'm saying, or, they place you in these facilities.
Right.
The resources that we have. Now, you spoke from the other side of it where these kids are going in here to get help.
Right.
But you guys' form of help looks like molestation or abuse. But from our side of things, we see when they go in there and get help, let me just throw some Adderall at them. They just need an attention. They need a pill. They need a gummy to get their brain back working.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes, they throw medication at a problem that's really not a problem. It was never a problem. Another thing that grinds my gears is that we send our children to go get help, right?
Right.
And instead of them walking out with solutions and with their head held high, they're walking out with more problems than they had to begin with when they came in. Because not only do you now have suicidal ideation, now you have homicidal ideation, which is you want to kill me and everybody in the house. When I sent you the when I sent you that, you just wanted to kill yourself. Now you want to kill me too? What I do? So it's crazy, man.
And that's predicated on, and it's so funny, man, because like today's youth have so much access to so many resources, but the resources is not in their best interest. It's a money grab.
Man,
like if you know how much
it's a power struggle.
Like in these behavioral health facilities, mental health facilities,
how much they making?
Yes, and how much it costs a day for a kid to stay in a bed in a room.
You know how much an ambulance bill is for us to come and pick them up?
How much? Give me that. See that last? You don't even got to say it long.
Man,
too much.
Too much. It's in the thousands.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, it's not even in the hundreds. It's in the thousands.
That website came out when you said
Man, but the one thing about us, we might have grew up in poverty, but our environment is not on us, it's in us.
Yeah.
So we control the narrative.
Yes.
That's the difference between our generation, millennials, and Gen Z.
Right.
They don't know how to control the narrative.
And they got all the access.
And they got all the assets that they need to control the narrative.
I wish we would got a kid for this. Because I really wanted to see from their lens, like, what they're going through. Because I know it's a lot of things, like, amplified, right?
Correct.
But you have a lot of resources to what you said. You can control this. Like, just because you're from here doesn't mean you have to be this.
Correct.
You know?
Don't let your emotions dictate your decision.
Yes.
Somebody told me that, and it has stuck with me all through, because I would, get these mental health patients on a truck, and I would just be me. I'm the paramedic. I'm gonna get back there and talk to you.
Right.
I'm saying, so what made you want to do this?
And what is?
My mom took away my Xbox. Oh, really? Okay. I said, so why did she take away the Xbox? Because I failed my math class. Oh. So let's walk me through this. And I'll ask the patient. So, like, walk me through it.
Right.
So if you fail your driving test and don't get your license, what's gonna happen? I'm not gonna be able to drive. Okay. So if you fail this math class, how are you gonna be able to calculate your paychecks when you get paid?
And what is it?
Oh, I never thought of it like that. Oh, I know you didn't, because you didn't control the narrative. Y'all don't think our generation, we always were 3, 4, 5 steps ahead.
We wasn't. We wasn't.
We wasn't.
We were probably like a step ahead.
We
but
can
like
put it together to make it make sense.
Yeah.
This generation, y'all doing a lot of stuff for cloud.
That, and one thing I noticed, being in that field, like a lot of kids really, and I'm not downplaying what triggers them to act like this, but at the end of the day, you still know right from wrong.
Correct.
So if you're still doing wrong, that means you're choosing at this point. And I feel like a lot of them lean on whatever they're diagnosed with to amplify or coddle their behavior.
An excuse.
Excuse their behavior, yes.
Excuse.
I'm acting like this because of this, that, and the other. Like, I understand that.
But the thing about
I seen you act right, though. So it's in you.
You want to know what's crazy, though?
What?
Who diagnosed them with that?
Doctor.
So somebody told you that you were like this, so now I'm going to act like this.
Oh, I had a kid just like that, man. Asked me every day I was at work, do you think I'm suicidal? I'm like, do you feel suicidal? And he was like, sometimes yes. Well, that doesn't make you suicidal.
It doesn't make you.
Like, it was important for me to tell him like that, because I've seen him go to another staff and ask those questions, and they'll just brush it off like, yeah, you suicidal, bro. You need to get on. And that's stuff I'm talking about.
Because they don't want to deal with them.
Yeah, that's it.
Deal with them.
That's it. And on the other side of that, like, people who are in that field, and I know you are too, like, our mental health be shot sometimes.
Man.
Like, I never seen someone commit, like, suicidal attempts on their life until I got this field.
But notice what you just said. You never seen someone commit suicidal attempts since you got in the field, right?
Right.
How many of them succeeded? So did you really want to kill yourself? Or did you want attention?
That. That. And it be for attention.
Spicy.
Yeah. I gotta keep it real. Because some do it for that, and then some do it to also feel what they really don't want to feel. I'd rather feel pain. I had a girl tell me this, like a teenage girl I was working with, and she told me that, like, I'm depressed and I feel lonely, so rather than feeling that, I'd rather feel the pain. I'd rather feel hurt. I'd rather feel the scratches.
It feels good.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Yeah. And that was very tough to hear, because my thing is, like, for you to be 14 and that's your thought process, instead of like tackling it heads on or really trying to have someone really help you understand why you feel like this, you rather just not and do this. But see, that goes back to parenting, because somewhere down the line, she probably or he tried to express that and it got shut down.
Yeah.
So now it's like, well, I need to find a scapegoat to not feel like this. Because obviously talking to my parents, I'm gonna get this. Because what you told them first is what they're gonna take to heart.
But what did we say?
What?
Kids' minds, adult thoughts.
Right.
They have to grow up faster than what they're, and that's what you're seeing with a lot of these kids.
Yeah.
They're in single parent households, so environment.
Right.
You running with the wrong crowd at school,
Right.
peers,
Right.
and then you got society.
Right.
What like I
Like where's the help, right? Help me. Right.
Can you help me?
Yeah.
Like man.
The thing is the help is there. It's one like I know I said about resources being trash or whatever, but there are good professionals in that field, and there are good organizations that really helps. But then going back to their side of things, some of them is not ready to receive help. Now let me ask you: you in the medical field, do you deal with like patients who don't want your medical help, even though it's like this is really going to save your life for today? But because of whatever they're going through, they're
ding,
like,
ding, 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 me.
they're rebelling.
I was the rebellion one.
Yeah.
I was the rebellious one.
Yeah.
I had those suicidal thoughts. I did. Just like how you had them when you were younger. I did like what every other kid did when they got a whooping or when their mama made them mad. You went in there and got your little knapsack, put some clothes in it, put it over your back, and was threatening to run away. But then you had to sit down and think logically.
Yes.
Where am I gonna go?
Right.
Who's gonna take me in?
Right.
Who's gonna put a roof over my head, clothes on my back, shoes on my feet, and food in my mouth?
Right.
Let me go ahead and lay it down.
Let me sleep it off. Let me sleep it off.
Let me sleep it off.
Right.
It wasn't that bad.
Right. Right.
But I was that kid.
Yeah.
Like my mom, you know, I understand when I came to her and told her, you know, finally opened up to her. I was 14.
Right.
I was the same age as my son, and I told her like I feel like because at that time I was getting bullied. I was a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
Getting bullied. And so I just came to her and told her. She tried to get me out. I don't need that. I don't need that, mama. What if I'm sitting here talking to you? Why I can't talk to you? Why I gotta go talk to somebody who got a degree behind their name? What's gonna change the conversation? What's going to change the narrative?
That's real though.
Just because you went to school to go study somebody's mind, mental, psychology, psychiatry, just because you went to school all these years, that's like somebody telling you, you think you know me, but you really don't.
Right.
So sitting on somebody's couch gonna change the narrative?
Right. That's deep what you said because it's more like it's not downplaying therapists or counselors. It's more like you're my mom, you're my dad, you know me.
You know
why do I need to talk to a stranger?
You birthed me. What? And that was my
because you're brushing me off. You're pushing me off to something else.
Yes.
So now I feel like every time I come to you, you're gonna do the same thing. So I'm gonna keep my thoughts and feelings to myself.
I'm gonna keep my thoughts. So like when you were talking about the girl who you rather feel the pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. You rather feel. It's like a release. It's like a high.
Yeah.
It's like crack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just put it down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Started itching.
She was ambitious. Like when she was ready to do it, she found ways. Yeah. She had bracelets, right? She was even like picking the metal off her bracelets.
Yeah, the brackets.
And, the bracket. Yeah.
And scrubbing. So.
I'm like, dang, that's tough.
It's tough.
Be that ambitious.
It's tough.
Because bracelets one inexpensive, and plus you want your teeth straight, and the fact that you want to risk that to like harm yourself, it's just deep within itself.
Man.
You know, and going back to like. So let's switch topics, right? So we talked enough about Gen Z. Let's talk about this right quick. So one thing, well, I'm gonna mention something about Gen Z because one thing I'm seeing compared to us growing up, and it's scary for me. It's like it's the carelessness for their own well-being. It's the fearlessness, and we did dumb stuff back in the day. Correct. We was fearless about a lot of things.
Correct.
But we had a limit to like. I'm not gonna do that because I know what that can get me. Correct. They don't care about that.
They don't.
You know.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because it's the adrenaline. It's the rush.
Yeah.
The feeling that you get. You feel alive. It's like
instead of dead and lonely inside.
There you go.
Yeah.
So if I can get an adrenaline rush off of almost getting caught stealing from the Walmart, why not do it? They're playing Russian roulette with their lives.
Yeah.
We, on the other hand, We were curious. We were so curious. We weren't playing a Russian roulette. We were just curious.
Right.
If your mama told you the stove was hot, okay, well I gotta touch it for myself to see if it's hot for myself. Got burnt. we were curious. We didn't play with our livelihood though. But yeah, these kids nowadays, cause going back to my 14-year-old, this boy would go through 2-3 bags of Takis and then be coming to me talking about your stomach hurt. You think you need to go to the ER?
Oh, that red 40.
Man, you eating a whole bag of Takis and you think you ain't finna tear up your stomach and your stomach lining?
Right.
Them things hot. I even tried one. I was like, nope, God, this one for me.
Right.
Water.
So let's do this, right? Mm-hmm. So we talk about our youth problems and stuff like that. So as adults who are parents.
Okay. Let's give out some solutions.
Yes. Yes. So what can we do to cater our kids' mental health, or at least make them aware of like mental health? Because like when we say mental health, it's not always a bad thing. Okay. It's a state. Like your mental health is your state of whatever. So you can have good mental health or bad mental health. Right. So what can we do to make sure our kids are having more good mental health days than bad? If that's even possible.
Communication.
No.
Communication is key.
Yeah.
If I don't talk about it, it's like if it was never written down, it wasn't none.
Right.
If I don't talk about it, then it doesn't exist.
So let me play devil's advocate. Okay. Especially you. No, I'm not saying this like in a disrespectful way, but you talk. So you just got off a 36-hour shift.
Correct.
Are you even in your right mind to even check on your own kids' mental health after working almost 3 days? No, right?
I'm gonna play devil advocate back.
What?
You deal with kids that are on the far end of the spectrum.
Right.
But how many times have you came home after having a hard day of that job and you came home and asked your kids, where was their head at?
And I'm be honest, because it's gonna be a transparent show, and it was really less likely. Yeah. It was really like on a once a month basis, because it was like I poured out so much
into those kids.
Yes, it was like I didn't have nothing for my kids some days, and then it's like I need to get me back.
Your sometimes light was on, so you had to go get oil change.
Yes, sometimes I will go in the cave and be like, "Do not disturb." Yeah.
Put your phone
unless a limb is falling.
And just, you know what I'm saying? Right. I got it. Yeah.
Like if your heart not beating out your chest, don't talk, don't call me, don't text me. I had them days. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not a perfect parent. I had them days. Yeah. I had them days.
However. Yeah. We're learning. Yeah. Parenting is a learning curve.
It is.
So as long as we communicate with them, stay in the loop with them. Yeah. Like I said, you can do a week-to-week basis. Yeah. You can do every 2 or 3 day basis. Right. I try to check on mine, now it's a 2 to 3 day basis. It was a week, and then it was a month went to a week. Now 2 or 3 days. Yeah. Because now y'all are in the dating stages. Yeah. My 14-year-old and my 12-year-old, and she's a girl. Yeah. So, I can relate more to her as far as relationship goes versus my son.
I'm like that with my son too.
And see, it's
like different. I'm all down with uncomfortable conversations, but my cousin, shout out to my cousin, he told me this, like, because he got nothing but daughters. That boy couldn't have a son to bless his life. So most of his daughters are teenagers. So he was like,
"Ooh, Lord."
He was like, "See, the only thing you could do is just learn how to exist with them." And I'm like, I need to hear that.
Be copacetic. Yeah. I'm married. So here's the deal with that. Now let me play devil advocate on that one. Oh, good. Because you say you gotta learn to exist with them, right? Right. But you also have to teach them that I'm your parent first, your friend second. That is why, pardon my sanity, but that is why Gen Z is the way it is. A lot of these parents out here are being their friends.
Oh yeah.
To their kids.
Oh yeah.
Best friends. Y'all go clubbing together. Y'all go skating together. And y'all make mud pies together.
And it's across the board, because at first, like because before this, I was a substitute teacher for pre-K. So I'm dealing with 4-year-olds, 3, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds sometimes. And I've been in predominantly white, schools or daycare institutions, whatever. I've been in Ethiopians. Like just nothing but Ethiopian kids. It is across the board. from Hispanic, Caucasian, Ethiopian. Only thing I haven't seen is Asian, but I have been around Asian kids. I've been around Asian kids. So it's across the board. It's just the state of parenting. I feel like plays a big part in the way the state of our generation's mental health is.
Yeah.
And I think it's something wrong with our mental health too.
Because my kids, they got their little lingo nowadays.
Yeah.
Mommy, you ain't got the Riz. I don't know what that is.
Right. Spell that.
Man.
Right.
So, but my kids, you know, they'll get, sometimes they'll get out there, get besides themselves, and they start talking to me as if I'm I ain't one of your little friends. That's what our mama used to tell us. So now I tell my kids that.
Yeah.
So with just like, I ain't one of your little friends. Like, they'll get beside themselves. They had their days where they'll get beside themselves. They come chop it up with me like I said, I'm one they partner them. Like,
that was really coming out.
Sir, I'm your mama.
Yeah.
I'm your mama first.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to steer you wrong. But at the end of the day, now, when they get 18, parenting doesn't stop. That's another solution. So a solution to that problem is still be in your kid's life. Don't let age determine.
I like that.
Don't let age determine your mental health relationship with your child.
I like that.
Don't do that. Because it's just like, don't let the age, because when a child turns 18, the parent then has that mindset like, "Ooh, thank you, Jesus, I'm done."
Right.
No, parenting doesn't stop.
It doesn't.
Until that child is in the grave.
If anything, problems become way more serious.
It becomes way more serious.
Because they're able to do more, they got more access. They actually
have consequences for their actions.
Yes.
Below 18, we're the responsible party.
Right.
Above 18, they are the responsible party.
Exactly.
So now let's look and think. Like, let's sit back and really think. How many people that are 18 and above really be playing Russian roulette with their life? That's in the Gen Z era. You really don't see most of them working, most of them trying to, you know what I'm saying? Life be lifing.
Yeah.
But the ones below 18, them the ones wilding. Like that, man. Yeah. They out here wilding because they know they're not responsible.
Right.
Their actions have no consequences.
Right.
So, like I said, the first solution, communicate.
So let's play on that right quick, right?
Okay.
Because let's bring a good situation. With the bullying when he was 14, right? Mm-hmm. You communicated to your mom.
Okay.
That he's being bullied. Now your mom communicated to you, technically, her response to that. So we know what that did for you, right?
Correct.
Wanted to recommend someone else, so things like that. So you know how you felt about that.
Correct.
So what did you take from that you implemented in your parenting with your kids? If they went through something like that, or they go through anything like, I'm not gonna recommend anybody, I got you. So what did you learn from that? Because she did communicate.
She did.
But it was what was said that was like, that's not the solution I was looking for.
Correct. But it really wasn't what she said.
Right.
What I implement with my kids is how I say things.
Yeah.
Like, you know, hey, y'all know y'all can come to me about anything.
Right.
Open door. We have an open door house.
Yeah. I say that, yeah.
Open door house.
Yeah.
Just like we have an open door policy. Open door house. My kids know they can come and tell me anything. Because we really go by that bravado of we listen and we don't judge.
Right.
So I feel like at that time, my mom's problem wasn't the communication.
Right.
It was, she didn't listen, but you judged. You didn't listen to anything I was saying because I told you, hey, I'm getting bullied.
Right.
Oh, well, let me go ahead. That's somebody else's problem now. So they let me know you didn't listen, because as my parent, you're supposed to be the first line of defense. But now
I don't know if you got the memo. Right.
I'm looking like, okay.
Right.
All right, Mom.
Well, I don't feel safe with you about this anymore.
Right.
And that's what it'd be. It'd be the safety.
Man, it's safety. Yeah. So kids don't have, most of the kids that you're at the youth center, they don't have safety nets. That's why they're doing the things that they're doing. Yes. They never had a role model in their life to teach them, like, all right, you know what I'm saying? It's a different way of making money. Right. It's a different way if you want to be popular. Right. All attention ain't good attention. Right. They didn't have those figures that we had growing up in their lives to teach them right from wrong. Well, right from wrong, or, you know what I'm saying, how to go about life.
Right. And it's so deeply rooted because now, just because you're that good figure, it doesn't mean right away they're gonna get it and receive it right.
It
Because
takes
it's been so
age.
long, yeah, and grace. Because sometimes I be want to pop them in the head. With love, of course, not like
Yeah.
abuse or whatever, but like with love, of
Give a
course. But
little church hug.
yeah, right, right. And thing I say that because it really starts at an early age.
It does.
Like when I had my because when I used to get them, get my kids right. We used to have every weekend I got them. We used to have like our sit downs, like a table talk. Now this is when they're 7, 8. My
Yeah.
kids are 12 now, right?
Mhm.
So I started at an early age to be like, let me tap in to get to really know my kids, what bothers them the most, stuff like that. And I remember this. I will never forget this because it was just powerful when it's up to me. I was coming up with something to talk about because like we do like different topics, and we all like sit in the bed watching something, Bernie Mac or something. And I said, "How's y'all mental health?" And they was like, "It was okay," and one was like, "Bad." I'm like, "Are y'all stressed?" And yes,
Yeah.
they both
They're
said
stressed.
yes. And my first instinct, and I really caught myself saying this, like I did.
You're 7 and 8. What are you stressed about?
Exactly. That was about to be like wow, like a reflex.
Yeah.
Because my parents did me.
Correct.
It was like a reflex. It was really about to come out of my mouth. And then I stopped myself and said,
But hey,
what stress y'all out?
at our age, we had a right to say that because at our age, our parents put light bills in our name. That's so scary.
I'm done.
I'm playing.
I'm done. But I asked like, what's be stressing you? What be stressing y'all out? And they was like, school, homework, tests, and stuff like that. So I did some researching, and we really had a deep dialogue about like how to deal with that.
And so
I gave them solutions, not like, oh, it's okay, you're in school, you're gonna go through tests. Like
you didn't call them. You didn't call. You didn't.
exactly. I didn't give them a surface level like I didn't give them a surface level type of response because is mental health is deeper than a surface level.
Right.
It's not what you're seeing, it's what's behind it, it's the root of it.
It's
And
always
all
behind
that
the scenes.
yeah, and all that plays a part in your mental health day by day.
You want to know what gets me through my job
Well,
and what gets me through being a parent every day?
talk to them.
I kill people with kindness.
Mm.
You never know what a person is going through
Yeah, you're right.
just from the outside looking in.
You're right.
So when it comes to my my kid patients,
Wow.
especially the mental ones, I never know what they're going through.
Right.
I don't even pick up that piece of paper and look and see, what their diagnosis is,
Yeah.
or because I might say a whole bunch of pill bottles and stuff like that. Because they'll come out and tell you, kids will talk. Kids love to talk.
Yes.
That's why you want to know what's crazy.
Yeah.
That communication is one of the keys to solutions to mental health.
Right.
And kids love to talk, but the parents aren't doing any talking. Your kid love to talk to you. They love to say.
And guess what you want to do? Give them an iPad.
Okay.
Give them a phone. Give them an Xbox. Even though I gave my kid a PS5. But at the point,
I did. You know what I'm saying? I gave mine one too. So
we still talk though. Yeah.
But we still talk.
Yeah.
So the second solution, what you just said, early parent interventions.
Come on.
Put those interventions in place early.
Yes.
So that way when they get older,
yes,
they'll follow in your footsteps.
Yes. You want to know why your kid can't open up to you because at 4 or 5 years old, you told him or her like, yeah, I don't care about you crying right now. Go play. Or here, take this tablet. Go figure out your own emotions by yourself. I need to go to work. Or I just got done doing 12-hour shift.
And that leads me to make this statement.
What's up? Yeah, we're going to end on this. What's up?
That's why the kid has the anxious attachment avoidance style. Just saying, if you give me a toy and I go away from it, go away with it, I have attachment issues. That's why I'm lonely because you didn't even give me a chance to speak and say what's going on.
Right.
So, parents, we included, communication is key. Let's open up the floor. Let's open up this dialogue. But remember, it takes two to tango.
It do.
Just like it takes two to have a conversation.
Right.
So.
And remember, parents, we are the first line of the defense.
We are.
Let's not be lazy with our parenting and give our kids to the government. Give our kids to these organizations, these therapists, counselors, not shunning or degrading them in any kind of way because all help is needed because it takes a village.
It does.
But don't let that be your first response. Like really do the work. And if it's not working, then okay,
Then
let's do
go
a
to the
counseling.
next
Let's do a
step.
therapist. Let's do an behavioral health or organization or whatever. So we're gonna drop the mic on that. Y'all be blessed. This is part of my sanity.